Hello everyone, so welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Mayank Agarwal and today is day 1 of our Hello Python series. In this video, we are going to learn about the history as well as an introduction to Python so that you're a lot comfortable while you're learning it. So let us deep dive into it and let me share my screen. So let us start with the introduction to Python. Now, majorly I've kept this slide because I feel that if you're learning anything, it is a lot helpful if you have an overall idea about the history, about any language or anything. So I believe that this will be a lot helpful to anyone who is in non-tech or let's say who is starting their journey in the programming, maybe in their first or second year of college. Okay, so in this video, we are going to cover necessity of programming, of course, a very important concept, introduction to Python, what is Python, why and who created it, and then along with that, what all Python can do and few of its important features. Once this all is done, you should actually understand why you should learn Python in today's world. And I personally believe that Python now, with the advent of AI, the way data science and machine learning, everything is taking over, Python is actually the language which one should learn the very first. Okay. So let us start with this. Why do we need programming? That's the very first thing. Now, of course, we need to communicate with digital machines. That is our laptop, computers, servers, and make them work according to our needs. So major overall insight or overall, I would say, intuition is that you want someone to work according to your need, and that is why you want to learn programming, and that is where all the hype about programming is. Now if you feel about your life as well as of now, no? Everything, you're using the phone, you're using a laptop, and there's a way we are setting in the alarm, we are maybe running some YouTube video, you are watching this awesome video. So all this actually required some instruction which your laptop or computer is following, and you are able to then do what you want to do. So the overall idea for is same, and of course we have lots of programming languages in the world. Like we have 800 plus languages available, and every language is basically designed to fulfill a particular kind of requirement. There are C++, Java, Python. They are needed to majorly write programs which we can work on our input and output base. Then we have different languages which are just for communicating with hardware. So that is the overall need. I would also like you to explain one more thing. So the way our computers are actually designed, they just understand 0 and 1, that is binary, right? So they just understand. So for a computer, they just understand 0 and 1. But you're going to see that in Python, we are going to write it using very analogous to English, right? We are going to write it using English. So in a way, what happened is that we need to have some language, which is our Python language, okay? And there sits a translator. There sits a translator in between. So we call this translator a interpreter or compiler. So we will learn more about that as we go forward in this course. And this is, let's say, U, which basically translates everything which we are saying. So our Python code, let me actually write our Python code instead, that would be helpful. So our Python code is here as well. And this translator is going to make sure that whatever we have written in this Python code, it is getting translated and then our computer can understand it. This translator, as I said, is known as interpreter or compiler. Now this is very analogous to, let's say, if I am a person, I'm talking to you currently in English, and if let's say you don't know English, right? And if you want to see this tutorial, then maybe someone else can see this tutorial and he can explain you in its own language. The same happens when we hire a translator if we are in another country where we don't understand the language, right? If we go to Spain right now and we of course don't know Spanish, then we can hire a translator who can talk in behalf of us. We can talk to that translator and he can communicate the thing which we want to the person in Spain. Okay, so that's the overall need and I would say necessity of programming. Yes, we want that our computer should work according to our needs. We want it to fulfill a particular task, and that thing is very important to understand. Okay, now moving forward, a little bit history about programming. So C language actually was initially designed to develop system software like operating system. So we are using this Windows, Mac, and all these are operating system, device drivers, etc. Then C++ was actually designed with some, I would say, security enhancement and stuff. Then it is an object-oriented language, C++, which provide data security and can be used to solve real-world problem. That I think is true for any object-oriented language. Now, Python is also an object-oriented language. What exactly object-oriented is, you don't have to worry. I have created and made sure that through awesome explanation, I will make sure that OOPS concepts will be a lot more clear when we have to understand them. Then, of course, there are many popular software like Adobe, Winamp, all these things which are written in C++. Okay, Java and other languages will, just that C++ is basically started. And I want to make sure that your overall idea about the language is a lot broad. Okay, so don't that you just know what Python is and you don't know any other language. So majorly we use C++, Python, Java. Okay, these are the major language which are used in industry. Now I have a question for you which you can search as well. What from Java or Python is older? Okay, so Java, I think many people have heard. Java similarly is another language which is majorly used in software development. So I have also coded a lot in Java because that is used in industry. For machine learning, AI and all these use cases, normally Python is preferred. Okay. So let us move forward. Now, what exactly is Python? Now, of course, if we are learning Python, then we have to make sure that we understand Python properly. So Python is actually a general purpose and powerful programming language. And we are going to understand that why this general purpose and powerful, what does this mean? It's free and open source. So there's a reason that yes, we all can use it, we all can learn it because it is free. It is completely free. Anyone can download it and can use it on their system. And it is open source as well. Now, Python is of course considered as one of the most versatile programming language because it can do lots of stuff as it can be used to develop any kind of application. So Python, like yeah, we are using Python to for data science majorly, or let's say for development. But along with that, Python can also be used for CAD related hardware, web processing, image processing. Python can be used for all of that. Okay, so let us move forward. Who created Python? So yes, this person is the one we should thank for creating the Python. And the reason is that as you will learn Python with me, you will understand that how easy its syntax is, how easy it makes you to like for you to do any stuff, right? So Guido van Wissem, he's a Dutch scientist, okay, created at Center of for Mathematics and Research, Netherlands, and it is inspired by another programming language called ABC. Okay. So why was Python created? Now Guido started Python development as a hobby in 1989. So you can search when Java was created and answer that question. And let me know in the comments here. Okay. And also if you are watching till now, please make sure that you subscribe to this channel and also like the video. And yeah, let me know in the comments which is older from Python and Java. Now, but since then it has grown to become one of the most polished language of the computing world. So Guido actually wanted a language which is easier to write. Okay. And he made sure that he is writing, basically he created Python for that. Now Python is actually not named for any snake or anything. It was one of the show which Guido van Wissem used to like. I think it was Monty Python Circus, something like that. So based on that name, basically he named the Python language. So let us now see what all Python can do. Because if I believe that if you're learning any language, it is very important that you have an overall holistic idea that okay, what this particular language can do. If you're just learning a language for hardware application, then you should know that okay, which all hardware it can control. Right? So Python can actually be used for like basically making your GUI application, that is graphical user interface application. So just like we have calculator in our system, right? So we can click on these buttons. Our whole OS is also a GUI, graphical user interface. Okay, instead of writing commands or actually sending some instruction, we can just click and interact with the same. Then web application, of course, Python can be used a lot for web application. Here in this image, you will also see that I have different, I would say, libraries which are used. So we will understand what exactly libraries are. For the time being, you can just think of them as other people code, which we can import and do what we want to do. So for GUI, tkinter is there. For web framework, we have the Django, Flask, and all these frameworks. Then we have data analysis. Of course, for data analysis, data science, Python is actually the king. So we have lots of libraries which make it possible. We have the NumPy, Pandas, SkyPy, all these libraries which are used in data analysis and math-related tasks. Then we have the machine learning. Of course, we have the scikit-learn library, and we are going to learn a lot about that as well. I'm going to make sure that I'm by coming up with videos where I will be explaining you machine learning and stuff as well, because I worked in that in my OYO as well as when I was working at Goldman Sachs. Okay, then next is hardware as well, so Raspberry Pi. Then game development. So you can see that okay, Python being a single language, overall how versatile it is, right? You can use it at so many applications at so many different I would say places. So it doesn't matter if you want to be a software developer, doesn't matter if you want to be an AI developer, doesn't matter if you want to work in hardware. Python will always or can always be used, and it will be a lot helpful to you to understanding the concepts. And through this Hello Python series, I will make sure that I'm making you a full master in Python so that you can choose your career in Python and can tomorrow start with anything. Okay, great. So then let us understand why we should learn Python now. So of course, most popular programming language, open lots of door. So yes, if you're starting a journey in tech, tomorrow you'll be working as, let's say, in some company. So you want to have that kind of skill set, right? And if you know Python, then you can make projects, then you can actually derive, or actually I would say create a portfolio which you can show. And Python will of course be a very helpful stuff in that. Now, of course, big corporates prefer Python. Now with the advent of Gen AI and stuff, that has actually blown out of proportion. So I actually always advise anyone who is trying to enter into the programming world, just please start with Python. You all will be good. Okay, so Python of course is a lot helpful, and then that totally means that Python is the future. Okay, so now let us see quickly the features of Python. So as we will go forward in this course, in this full YouTube course, I'm gonna actually showcase all of these features to you as well. So not gonna dive a lot deep into that, but you should be aware that these are the different features in Python. So Python of course is very simple to type. Okay, you are gonna learn, if you ever have learned any other language and now you're gonna learn Python with me, you're gonna actually see that okay, how simple it is. Just to print, we don't need to make any classes, any object, nothing, just print function, and we can use that. Then it is dynamically type. Okay, so in other language where you have to define that, okay, what this particular thing is, Python is very smart in that. Python can handle that all itself. So you can have a variable a, and if someone is new to programming, all this will, I will make sure that all this makes a lot of sense. So please keep on watching the video and then subscribe to my channel so that you are aware when the next video is coming. Okay, so let's say if you defined a variable a which is 5, you can make it, it's dynamic in nature, so you can make it tomorrow have the value of Python, which is something which is not a lot possible in other languages. Okay, then it is a lot robust. Anytime you make any error, it is basically able to show you that error. Then it is supporting multiple programming paradigms. So we have the functional programming paradigm, we have the oops paradigm, right? So it supports all of them, so that makes it a lot useful. Like if let's say you are writing a code in a oops setting, in let's say you have written a code in C++, you can easily migrate that to Python as well. It is cross-platform. Of course, it can be read at basically in Mac, in Linux, in Windows. So I'm using Mac currently. Now I learned it when I was using Windows. So everywhere it is easy to run. No problems are faced. Then it is compiled as well as interpreted. So compilation and interpreted is something which you're going to see, which I'm going to like teach you separately in a particular video, because I don't want to make it a lot confusing. But for the timing, you can just understand that Python can actually be also compiled as a full file, or you can also just compile single line. So that is interpretation. Okay, then of course is it extensible. Okay, you can create different extension and make sure that other what you have created can be used in other languages, and it is embedded as well. So other languages can also be embedded here. Many libraries like NumPy is there, which is written in C++, but we are going to harness its power in Python. And then the best, and I would say the most important thing, is that Python has an extensive library and a very great community support. So anytime you face any issue in Python, anything which is being developed new, you are going to get it in Python, because it has a very much extensive library which we can use now in AI as well. There's a reason that anything which new comes in, we always have the way we can access it using Python. Similarly, it has an extensive, or I would say a lot great community, like the best I have seen in any language. Anytime you face any issue, you're not able to do anything, on forum like Stack Overflow and others, there are awesome explanation, awesome answers, and as well as community working to make sure that Python is easily adaptable and useful to all. So that is all the stuff, that is all the thing which we get when we learn Python. And I think this all should make a lot more clear that why you should learn Python. And now you should be better equipped with your mind that yes, let me start with learning Python. Okay, so that is all, everyone. In the next video, I'm going to show you that, okay, exactly how you can set up your environment. We are going to use something known as Jupyter Lab, okay, as a part of Anaconda. The reason for that is it will make it a lot easy. So I'm going to show you that in the next class, and we're going to install that as well. And then we are going to start with our programming. Okay, cool. So thanks a lot, everyone. Please make sure that you subscribe to my channel so that you are notified whenever I'm uploading any new video. In this Hello Python series, I'm making sure that everything which I'm using and all the codes you will be getting, so they will be a lot helpful in your overall programming journey.